Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, Lucy B here. Guys, today's topic is about why are there so many super rich billionaires in India and yet there are so many extremely poor people in India. Anyway guys, welcome. I'm not feeling very well. That's why you can see I am just like seated down. I'm in pain, but guys, I have to do something for you. I don't want to let you down. I don't want to like feel bad. In fact, I have one of my greatest supporters. She's one of my friends. Like every time if I don't post, she will call, "Hi Lucy, what happened? You didn't post." So yeah, that's why I say she's like one of my great supporter, because she, so I know maybe, yeah, so we have got to do what we've got to do. So yeah, as you can see, today's topic, this is something which I've always been wondering. I've been asking myself again and again, especially when sometimes I see on the TV, sometimes I see everywhere, I hear stories and all that. Always ask this big question: why is it that there are so many mega rich Indian everywhere in the world and yet there are extremely poor people in India? For example, the 8th richest guy in the world is Mukesh Ambani. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. And the 18th, Gautam Adani. I'll also say sorry if I didn't pronounce that well. Not only that, there are so many rich billionaire or millionaire in India. So that is why I always ask myself, why are there so much gap between the rich and the poor? I can also give example, for example, my country, Uganda. You know, Uganda and India, we have like a big relationship. This one started since the 19th century. Yeah, let's say during the 1890s, that's when the relationship started. Like that was the time when Indians were brought to work as on the construction of the Mombasa-Kampala railways line. So that was the time when they really like became Uganda, and from then, since some stayed in Uganda and they love Uganda, in fact many stay in Uganda and they established themselves in Uganda, and until the 1972 when they were expelled by the Idi Amin. I mean, like, if you're an Indian, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking history here, I'm just like trying to give the history between Uganda and Indian. And even though they were expelled, they still came back, they were invited back, and they love Uganda, and we have so many Indians in Uganda. And because of that, if you look at the 10 richest people in Uganda, you find that the top first 3, or the top from 2 and the 3 and the third of 3 of them are they are Indians. And then if you look at it, like the top 5 out of the 10, 5 of them are the richest in Uganda. You know, in most of the Indian that are like born in Uganda, or like when we meet, they just treat me like I'm their sister. Like, and you know, like some of them have really like received lots of free thing when I meet Indians from Uganda, just, "Oh, you're my sister," or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, the relationship has been good. So when I give example of Uganda, like you see in Uganda, the richest guys in Uganda are the Indians. And not only that, in all over the world, you find that most of the Indians are very rich. They are doing lucrative businesses. They head most of the places, especially, for example, I can give here in the UK. When you see now our Prime Minister is an Indian. If you look at our Home Secretary is an Indian. If you look at our Mayor is an Indian. And then we have so many ministers, so many. And when you look at the NHS, most of these big doctors, the head surgeons, all these are people who like that are really needed. Not in the UK, everywhere you find that the people who like own this big department mostly are Indian. The head of the nurses, all that kind of thing, mostly are Indian. So what I'm trying to say is, I've been asking this question. Indians are so rich. They are super rich. And even these days, there are so many young ones that are becoming very rich, maybe through like the social media or online businesses and all that. Very rich one. They are very rich. Then you find that there are so many like extremely poor people in India. To the extent, sometimes when you're watching the news, say for example, there's flooding, there's famine, some of the news, you just like, you can't even imagine how some people are really poor. And what really affected me mostly, like I heard of this story where some parent in some like really poor area, some parent, they decide now to go hungry and give their food to their children, to the extent that one parent died because he had starved like for 5 days, because he decided to like just starve himself but give the food to his children. You get what I mean, guys? Because you know, all I want is to make the world a better place to live. I just feel like if we all share a little, the world would be a better place to live. So you may ask, why am I saying this? I'm asking this. I don't mean to like criticize anyone. I'm just trying to put a point here, because as human beings, sometimes we may have something and at that time we cannot realize. I give example like me. There are times when I had really lots of money, which I could have done so many things with that money. I could have done like good thing that would be helping me now. But then at that time, you kind of like maybe be blinded. You kind of maybe you don't even think. You get blocked. So that's why I'm thinking some of these things need to be talked about, so that like some of these many mega rich billionaire or super rich Indian that are rich, sometimes you might think that they just maybe don't want to give, even though somebody said that Indians are very stingy. Especially when it comes to business. Okay, that is understandable, because in business you have to be careful. You can't just like give anyhow, else you'll give all the profit out. But also you have to, when whatever amount you earn, you need to like at least try to give 7% or 10% to the poor. As a human, you just have to do that. In that case also you'll be blessed, and even favor will come on your way. So that's why I have to come and talk about this. I'm just talking on their behalf. I'm just fighting for the poor. I'm just fighting for the right of the poor, that we all need to come in and share the little we have. Okay guys, if you find this information informative, is helpful, is useful, please guys like, share this information, so that we can reach all these mega rich Indians that they are sitting on their wealth and they don't know what to do with it. Some of them are even like they just spend it on very expensive thing, but yet if they just decide to give to just one poor family, it will help, it will save life. Yes guys, thanks already. I don't want to believe that there is a saying that the rich are selfish and greedy, and that they only help themselves and their family. I just feel that we should just share a little bit. When you look at some of the children of the poor in India, they are extremely malarized. They lack nutrients, and yet the situation is just like really bad when you look at it. Some village, they depend, because most of them they depend on agriculture, and then sometimes they lack the means of certain like to buy maybe seeds and all that, and also they lack the modern system to apply on their farm. So you find that the situation is really alarming, and yet India is the 5th largest economy in the world. So I don't understand. Yet they have the mega riches in the world. They have lots of billionaire, lots of millionaire in India. So today I challenge all the mega rich in India, all the rich Indian. I challenge you today. Please, you need to start giving a helping hand. You need to start supporting those poor area. You need to start sponsoring maybe a child in those poor family. I don't want to say that the Indians are poor because of maybe there is lack of education, there is lack of this and that, or the government. I don't want to blame the government. Sometimes it's not only about the government. I just want, as human being, you the Indian yourself, start supporting your immediate neighbors, your villagers, the area, those poor. Start like maybe by donating to those some of the charity that are helping the poor. Start supporting the women groups in those poor areas. Build a school, build a hospital to support these very poor people who can't afford hospital. Build for them a training institution for the youth so that they can train better their life. You can do so many. You can pick a child from one family and take them up to the university level. Say one billionaire can even like help one town. You can pick one village and even feed the whole village. This is today I challenge all the billionaires. I challenge all the mega rich in India. You need to come out. You need to sit down and try to give out a helping hand and try to reduce the poverty in India. Because I feel like somebody need to talk. Because let me give example. Let's say I was a billionaire like one of you, and then I see maybe in the news or I hear or I go to India and I see all these people suffering. What is the first thing that come on my mind? Me, the first thing what I'll do, I'll go to that area. Look at these people. I have lots of money. I am rich. What do? I get the little that I can afford and help these people. Please let's make a world a better place to live. I beg all the riches, all the rich. You don't have to be a billionaire. You don't have to be super rich. As long as you can do a lot. Like I always say, start even by some of the surplus that you have in your house. Say you have surplus of tin food that you don't need. Pack them, give it to the poor. Clothes that you don't wear, shoes that you don't wear, pack them and give it to this needy. Just imagine if all of you the rich or the middle, start giving to the poor. Trust me, you will change Indian life. You will change people's life. Please guys, like, share. Let this video reach all the rich of the Indian so that maybe some of them, their eyes will open.